Hi all, it's Erin from EB Mixed Media. It is a blustery rainy day here in Maine, and I'm saying that because it could be very loud. It's been loud. It's sort of tapered off now, so hopefully I can do this video without being too disrupted. I posted a video recently where I was trying to use up my scraps. I have been trying to clean up my art desk, and I think I've talked about this before, but on my art desk I have a lot of these little bins, little plastic bins of varying sizes. Here's another one, and I keep papers in them sorted by color. And these are my smaller scraps of papers that I keep right on my desk within reach. And I think you've all seen my big three slotted bin that I got at Target ages ago. I'm sure you could probably get it in any kind of home goods store, the Container Store, something like that. But anyway, so I am trying to do kind of these 20-minute power cleans or something like that each day before I get started in my art room. I think it's great inspiration to just get your hands on your stuff and you find things you haven't used in a while. So today I was going to just clean out this one bin, and I did a pretty good job. I've got everything. I decided to go ahead and sort by size. Because I think everything sort of fits in these bins a little bit better. And then when you're looking for something, a lot of times you are looking for size. So, you know, depending on what you're doing, you might want a piece of paper that's bigger or smaller. So this just makes this so much more functional and easier to search. So I did that. I had, as I did in the last video, a bunch of strips of paper. And so I went ahead and did another master sheet, just like I had showed you in the video I posted recently, and I can link to that again in the bottom, on how I made this. And I was excited. I used up nearly every single kind of stripy rectangular piece that I had except for these. So those are all that's left. But now I'm down to where I have these really tiny pieces, and that's kind of a circle. And so I'm trying to figure out what to do with these, because ideally I don't want to put them back in there. They're getting so small that they get lost. That's what this video is going to be about today, is coming up with a solution, something to do with these very tiny scraps of paper. So let's get to it. So my idea for today to use up these scraps is to create some little collages. And so I've cut up some, this is just basic mixed media paper. Cardstock would work. Actually, I think it is cardstock maybe. And I thought I could make some little collages on these small pages. And then I also have these 5x5 blocks, frames, I guess, or canvases rather. And I had some really bad art on it. And so I've painted it over. I probably need to do another layer, but I was sort of thinking, you know, I could do a collage and maybe mount it to this. But I did paint everything over. That's why my desk's a mess. So anyway, I think I'm going to play with just trying to make some tiny collages with these scraps. So, let's see. Where shall we start? Let's just take, like, this is a pretty piece here. And start sort of building a collage. And go from there. I've also pulled out some of this ledger paper that is really pretty, that I thought could enhance whatever I decide to do. So I don't know. So I'm just going to start laying stuff down, and I'm looking at kind of color and size, and sort of trying to figure out what might work. That looks kind of cool. Ooh, this is a pretty piece though. That's pretty. I like that piece a lot. And just try to put these together and not, I don't know, not like really overthink things. Just something as simple as that, I think, could be really nice. But I feel like I've got all my painted papers grouped together, and then this is by itself. So let's see if we can mix these up a little bit better, maybe. And so what works with this is it was all a pile of purple and blues together. And so they all go together. They really do. Now, some go together better than others, but is this a nicer piece? No, not really, no. Okay. Some go together better than others, but they all basically work together because we started with colors in the same color family. So look, boom, that's it. And then if we want to jazz it up, I grabbed some of my smaller kind of collage fodder elements that I thought I could enhance these with. You could use a bread tag. This is a fun painted bread tag. Oh, that's cute. But I thought the puzzle pieces might actually be kind of cute on these. So to put, you know, maybe like so. And then I even got out some thread, thinking I could do kind of a threaded little thread nest kind of thing. I don't even know where this starts here. Is that it? Oh, there we go. Yeah, so I could do like a little nest of threading as well. I don't know how much of this I'll need for that. And here I just wad this up and get a clump of it. And this just adds some nice texture to a collage, which is kind of fun. And you can just throw that on there and then maybe put your puzzle piece like so. And that's it. I'm going to glue that down. I think the trick too is after you move it off your page to put it back the way you had it originally. That's always the trick. Is that there? I'm not sure. I'll just lay it there so I can have a little bit of wiggle room as I put it back down again. I'm just using a Yoo-hoo glue stick. You could probably use any kind of glue that you have on hand. I think that was how I had it, right? And then that was here, or here maybe. Move this over a tad. Okay, and then just put some glue down here. This is where it gets tricky because your hands get sticky and then you're trying to wad this up and it just sticks to your hands. So we're gonna, one trick is to have a piece of deli paper or wax paper, and then you can smoosh down onto that glue without using your sticky fingers. There, now we have our little nest. We'll see how this sticks. Sometimes it might be better to use a heavier glue than a glue stick for this. For a heavier piece like this puzzle piece. So maybe art glitter glue would have been a better option, but we'll try this. And we'll just set that there. And again, I'm gonna hold it down with my deli paper. And there we go. We've got a cute little collage that we could mount like so. We could even put another piece of paper under it maybe. What size is this? This is a little bit bigger, so you could do something like that. It's not quite the right size, but that just gives you an idea of how we might be able to use these. And they could be a card front. They could go in a journal page. You could frame that. That's cute. Should we do another one? Let's try another one. Let's see. What do we got here? That's a nice size. I always kind of think it's nice to start with a larger size. I'm doing this one almost exactly the same way as the other one. So I'm putting it up in that corner there. And then I'm just looking for other interesting color combos. I don't like that. That's very dark. That looks too red. Let's see. That's too matchy-matchy. Let's go with this. This is kind of nice. It's very dark, which is sort of cool. And then I really like these. I think this was made with spray paint, which is kind of interesting. So, but I'm going to place it. There's not a lot happening here, so I don't really want that part. I want this interesting bit to show. So I'll be aware of that as I'm placing this stuff down. I don't know. Let's see. Maybe put that here. So I'm sort of building across the page so your eye flows across. Oh, let's get some of our ledger paper in here. And again, I'm kind of working diagonally down the page. Maybe. I used that on that last one. I like that piece. Let's see. That's too much blue. I feel like I need to try and pull maybe a little more of what's happening here. What's this? This is some of my Fabulous Florals washi tape. That's kind of fun. I like the gold in it. Would that work? That's so narrow. Ooh, I do like that. Is that enough? I think it is, actually. I think that works. So, just a little tip, I guess. What I am always trying to do is cover what I call my seams, or the joints. It's where the papers meet. So, this is overlapping here. I'm not setting it over here. I'm overlapping it. And I'm not lining it up perfectly, right? I don't want those ends. I want it overlapped. And then this one I want to cover. I always just think about covering seams. So I want to cover this seam. So either here or maybe even here. So it's going off the page. I don't remember where I had it. And then this one covers all three of those spots. So I'm not sticking it over here, because if I stick it over here, I have this weird gap, this weird space that just doesn't work. If I put it here, it's okay, but there's a gap there. Now that would work. I would just want to go in and cover that gap too, which I could do. So that sort of works. So I don't know. I think I like it there. So it's covering that gap between these pages. And I think I like that. And I like how this is coming off here now because it's balancing. Then I'm going to take this one and I'm going to cover this seam here, maybe even out to there. Right? And then this laying here somehow, like so. And so it's coming a little off this way. So that's sort of how I'm seeing this one. So let's see if I can glue that back down the way I just had it. I'm excited. I don't think I've done collages this small. I did have a tiny journal once that was kind of a 3" by 3" or 2" by 2" or something like that. And I did do small collages in that one, and I'd kind of forgotten about that. But that would be another good way to use up. Ooh, that's got interesting color on that side too. It's a little bit darker though. I'm gonna go with the lighter. And again, I guess I'll go, let me think about this. I think I'm gonna go this way because, again, looking at interest, there's these purple dots here and up here. And when I lay this piece down here, I'm covering up kind of the boring part of the paper instead of the more interesting part of the paper. Okay. Got my ledger paper, little piece. This is washi tape, but I've taped it onto an index card or something and trimmed it. So, and where was that? Was that here? Yeah, I wanted to cover up all 3 junctions there. And then my tiny little strip. And put that down. And then I got some schmutz on my page here. There we go. So let's stick with the theme of the puzzle pieces. I'm liking that. Do I want to go with the blue, green? No. I'll go with this. And I could choose to put this somewhere else, you know, over here. It doesn't have to be, I don't know why, I'm gravitating towards right here. But maybe we go somewhere else. So let me think what color thread might look good with this one. I could tie it together by using the same color. I could go with this blue. This is kind of fun. Maybe we'll do that one. I'm almost out of this. I got these in some Happy Mail, and I'm so sorry I don't recall who sent them, but aren't they fun? They're so cute. And there's more than one thread, so I kind of am pulling them apart to make a bigger sort of nest. I think I got that going here. And I'm just gonna wad it up. So where do I want to put this? We could put it up here. Let's just try it. Why not? Something a little different. Was this the piece? I don't know. I like this one. Okay. And there's another one. Really simple. Let's do one more. So there's my 3 cards, and I think what's interesting too is you can turn these and see, like, I like that. If you like it going in a different direction than the one you initially created, perhaps, you know, so if you want them to really look different and have different focal points. Now what I want to try, and I'm hoping I don't mess this up, is I've got some gold metallic paint here and my fan brush, and I am going to try just putting some splatters on here and hope I don't totally ruin this, but I think it'll give it a kind of unifying effect across the page. I like that. I'll try it again with this one. And I'll try to hit where there's a lot of white space. I think that's really cute. Love that. And just by turning them, we've got some different looks. And I think once I've determined how I want it to lay, I could go back in and hit it more in some areas with the gold. Okay, I still have a lot of scraps left. I'm going to keep going. So as I mentioned, I had these canvases that are wood, and I had done some collage on it before, and I must have covered, this probably has 4 layers of gesso, and whatever was underneath is coming through the gesso. So I really would like to try using these, and I thought I might go just a little bit bigger than what I was doing earlier. So I've cut these. These are 5 by 5. This is a little bit bigger, so I would have to trim it. These were, I think, 4 by 4. So you could just do that, or this is another one I did off camera just to experiment. You know, you could mount them like that. But I think I'm going to try and do something on this. This is just watercolor paper, so it's kind of heavy duty. It's got some texture. So I think I'm going to try to make another collage with that. And I've got kind of a nice piece of this ledger paper. I might start with that and just see what I can do here. So let's see. We'll keep going. I've got some nice pieces. This is pretty. Super pretty. Oh, that's pretty. I don't like it with that though. Got this tea bag too. That's kind of cool. Yeah, that's nice. It's working for me somehow. Oh, isn't that pretty? That's picking up some of that gold in there. I like that. Ooh, that's working for me, I think, but I feel like I still need something here. Ooh, this is pretty. I'm liking all of these real subtle subtle colors, kind of creams, and this is a little jarring maybe, I don't know. That's good. Oh, now see, that balances out a little. There's blues in there. I think that's maybe gonna work. But I do think this piece is so pretty. If I did that. I love how this pop of purple. This might be the answer. I really like that there. There we go. Perfect. Geez, that one was a struggle, I think. Oh, I like that. I like that. I like that. I like that pop of purple. Okay. That's what we're gonna do. Or maybe even, do I like this pop of purple? A little bit thicker, maybe. Yeah. Yes? No? I don't know. I think I'll go with that. Okay, so now I gotta glue that back on. So for this one I pulled out, I had some of these kind of cream colored threads. So I just pulled some of those out to use. And I thought I might use some bread tags because I think they could be really fun. Ew, no. And I kind of like this brownie one that sort of pulls in some of those colors. This one actually has the, you can still see the printing on it, which I think is fun. So I'm going to put that down as well. Oops. And then I'm going to go ahead and mount this to here. And I guess I'll use my art glitter glue for that. I don't think I'm going to do the gold on these. I think I'm going to keep it, whoops, keep it plain. I kind of like the kind of simplicity of it. Let's get a brush and brush that out. Oh my gosh, I think that's really pretty. Really cool. So this one was a little bit larger than my block, so I'll have to trim it down, but I'll do that after it dries for sure. Loving this. You could add a sentiment if you want, but I like the simplicity of it. I love how the words are showing through that. I think that's a tea bag or a piece of tissue paper. That's amazing. You can make something this lovely with just scraps. It's unreal. I'm going to do some more. apologize. The neighbors are mowing. Or no, I suppose they're leaf blowing. It's that time of year. I just wanted to show you, I added another piece here. I felt like the balance was off here, so I put that there, and I added this slight blue piece here to pull more of this blue. This piece wasn't doing it for me. I think they look great. I'm really excited about how these turned out. And then we also made our small ones here that could be used in the same way, or put in a journal, or used as a card front. Just to give you an idea, there's one I did with mounted it. I also added a little bit. This one we put the splatters on, which I think are fun, but I love the simplicity of this, the clean lines of it. I'm not going to put the gold on these. But anyway, just to check this out, this is all the scrap paper that I have left from where I started. So I'm feeling really good about that. And I think I could probably go back through that and throw some stuff away, because I picked up pieces over and over again and put them back down because I didn't think they had enough interest, or I didn't care for them. So I think that means they could probably go. And I feel great. Here's my one little container. I went from a big mess to this tidy little mess. And I've got some great art pieces. I mean, I'm thrilled with these. Absolutely thrilled. And I think they'll be great on a wall. So happy with that. So anyway, that is it for me today. Hope this helped you. Again, I'll throw this into my sort of sorting and organizing and decluttering category on my playlist. But we'll call this number 2 in that series. And we will be back again with another video soon. Hope you have a great day. You can always find me on Instagram. That's EB Mixed Media, EB_Mixed Media. Thanks all. Bye.